Find out the flyweight division. He's not yet got a number next to his name, but after his 2 defiant wins, he's shortly, that's something we'll be discussing a bit later. But for now, let's get him onto the channel. Charles Johnson, how you doing, my man? Thanks for coming on.
What's up, baby? Doing good, man. How y'all doing?
Yeah, no, we're good. We
Doing
are
good,
good
bro.
out here. It's so great to have you on as well. Thanks for coming through. We appreciate that. Been talking to you throughout the week. I realized you just coming off you was moving or something. You had a few things going on at home.
S- Not really. Just always moving around. I'm just an active dude, so I'm in and out of the state. I'm at home in St. Louis now. I'm back in Michigan, so just moving around a lot.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah. To be fair, I think it's by reputation. You can do a lot of cross training. You're at gym A, you're at gym B.
Yeah.
You do quite a lot, but that's quite eclectic on your skill set, I'd say, for that reason.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. But everything's all comfortable with you at home at the moment, then. And this here is the fighter Q&A that we have at ATF, where we basically ask some of the questions. We bring the fans in, and they get to also just ask you questions throughout the show as well directly. But we're going to go through a little bit about your past performances, look at what's coming up for you, and just get a good idea as to what kind of style matchups would make sense to be quite exciting. So, UFC brasses,
All right.
I'm not blowing our horn or nothing, but I'm pretty sure they tune into this. They tune into this. That's it.
Yes.
But yeah, man, real quick one. I wanted to get into a couple of questions first and foremost about that recent fight cards. A lot of people who know, some people might not know, but you fought in the Lewis versus Nascimento fight cards. That was in St. Louis, which was quite spectacular because it actually broke, and you probably heard about this as well, right? The gated ticket sales record, which was previously held by Dariush and Sarukian, I think it was back in December.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep. It was actually I don't know who held it before. I think it was pretty old one actually. I don't know who held it. Or
it was recent. I mean, I think
the stadiums are getting bigger, so
the gated
but the Enterprise Center is not a big stadium. It just was packed.
Yeah.
That blue stadium has been there. Last time they held the show was there in 2018, so it's not a new. But it was, and it just shows testament to why the UFC needs to get out of the Apex, why they need to get to the Midwest a little bit more. St. Louis in particular is a huge hub for sports. St. Louis is the gateway to the West for a reason. The first Olympics was there for a reason. It's just a hub for sports. It's the middle ground of the U.S. A lot of things travel through there, and a lot of states touch St. Louis and Missouri. So I think they realized the market they've been missing. And hey, next time you come needs to be UFC 314. Do it.
Yeah, I love that.
Needs to be a pay-per-view. That needs to be a pay-per-view. So that may be next year, but they definitely need to fucking come back and make that a pay-per-view. UFC 314 needs to be in St. Louis. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, absolutely love that. Yeah, we could go on to another topic. Obviously, we won't, but I'm just saying you're spot on with the UFC need to get out of the Apex and sort of like broaden the horizon, but a lot more than sort of staying in the Apex.
Yeah. I mean, because
I think a part of the reason why we've seen us linger in there for so long is you guys think about it, that time during COVID, there was no other sports on TV but the MMA and UFC, and Dana White did a great fucking job of making us the sport to watch, which grew us a lot as far as fans. He made sure he found a way to have us on TV as a business that was probably the best thing they've ever done. Now, the things that happen after that, and don't quote me, I may not be right on everything, but what I think happened as the business grew and you got these deals with ESPN, it called for more shows, and they weren't able to put them in state to state, and they weren't able to do that at first, so they had to create the UFC Apex. And creating Apex, they started making the Apex fights. And so then we had Apex. At the time, it was only sports. We loved it, right? Yeah, we still get to see fights. Yeah. We come out of COVID, and you still got these things in place. And I don't know if this is true, but what I think happened was ESPN still has a TV deal. They still have a demand for amount of shows. So they have to still put on the same amount of shows, and they don't have these other venues set up. And if they're making money and they're still running out of the Apex, it was just probably easier for them to continue what they were doing.
Yeah, it just makes sense, doesn't it?
Now in 2024, and it's like, okay, it's time. It's been time. we as humans in nature, when we do something and we become comfortable, it's hard for us to change and go to something else. It's like, oh, it's cool. We can just go back
That's
home.
true.
Home becomes home, right?
Yeah.
And so like I think that was part of it. Probably some business had to be a part of it with the sponsorships and everything. But I'm glad to hear Dana say and see that, and UFC be like the turning point for that, and St. Louis be the turning point for that. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, honestly,
mad.
man, $2.47 million worth of gated ticket sales. Just that's huge. That's massive. And I think you're right, because back you was there, if I'm not mistaken, back 2018. You referenced that was the last time you was in sort of St. Louis. You was in the audience. You saw the.
Yeah,
do you remember
I
who
mean,
was
I'm in
fighting?
St. Louis a lot, but that was the first UFC event I ever went to.
That one there.
2018.
I think if I remember correctly, was it? See, I'm remembering.
Jeremy Stevens.
Yes.
And
Troy.
Some Asian dude.
Troy. That was the guy. That was the one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Duho Choi.
That's
and then you had Michael Johnson fought somebody.
On that card also. But that was like a 4-fight main card. That was back, like you said, before that was back before they had the demand to put on more fights. Michael Johnson, Darren Elkins. That was it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So crazy.
It's like UFC, St. Louis in particular, in the Midwest. I mean, they had the shows in Kansas City, but that was out of necessity from like the relationship that they had built with, I believe, Glory and James Krause, who put a black eye on everything, and that's why they started going to Kansas City more, because Kansas City is 4 hours from St. Louis. It's similar city as far as like sports town and everything, and but it's not St. Louis. I'm gonna get that fucking straight. It's not St. Louis. So
different.
I think it was close enough to St. Louis. That's why they hadn't come back. But now they came to St. Louis, they're like, okay, we got to come back here. So it's the reason we had 3 major sports teams: not basketball, football, and we had hockey and baseball, and then football. The Rams moved to LA, but now we have an XFL team and an MLS team to replace that. So like, we got 4 major sports going on in our city still. We'll never have basketball because of the old ABA and the things that happened back in the day. But legally, why we can't have one, we're the city still being paid from that. But other than that,
fight fan community wise, it's rich. It really is. Was that the first time you fought in front of fans? Was it? Because I remember you said you talked about
my first one was in punk ass UK in the hotel.
Of course, yeah. So that was the second time. That was the second. I didn't want to remind you of that time.
Yeah, and that was my UFC debut. So all the nerves and all the expectations you place on your shoulders, and trying to live up to all these dreams and go out there and do everything right. It was an experience. I loved it and I hated it at the same time.
Crazy. Well, look, 6 years later, you've been back in on the other side of the cage. Now you're inside the octagon, back in your hometown, and of course, experiencing that home fan. So it must have been absolutely epic. But let's talk about your recent performances then, because you're coming off of a 2 back-to-back win against undefeated, bear in mind, as at Maxim was his name, wasn't it? And then of course Jake Hadley. But prior to that, you did have like a 3-fight losing streak. What do you think you changed in your last 2 fights that kind of made you turn around what was looking like the fire exit to the UFC? Was it a mindset thing? Was it like a style thing? How do you think?
Styles make fights, man, and I just fought. Yeah. The O'Day fight, I felt like I won. I feel like I got hosed by the judges on that. Yeah. And I fought that on 9 days' notice I was in Thailand on vacation after the Jimmy Flick fight. My manager called me. I was like, fuck yeah, I can beat that dude in my sleep. And I came back over on 9 days, but I got a sinus infection. And when I came into Vegas, it was sleeting in Vegas. Like, what the fuck? The wind was blowing fucking crazy. So like my sinuses was all over fight week. And then you got to cut the weight, and so like it was tough because it was 9 days notice, and I had been, like I said, I had been relaxing. I was in Thailand, but I've been relaxing. So when I got the call on 10 days out, I started training, hitting and used the camp that I had with Jimmy Flick, but that was extremely short notice. But I just felt like it was a fight I could win. I got in there, I did all the damage in the fight. The takedowns he got was because I pulled Gillies. It was not me not trying to every time I wanted to defend the shot, I did. When I chose to pull a ghillie, it was because I was going for fight ending sequences. The refs give him the fight. He walks out of the cage limping with a cut across his forehead. I walk out like, fuck. All right.
Yeah.
Tired because I got the sinus infection. But like he gassed out. He lives in Vegas and he gassed out. And I took the fight short notice. You know, like if I fight that on a full camp, I fucking destroy him. I know this, but I believe in myself. So I always put myself in some adversity I don't need to a lot of times because I just believe in my abilities. I think, and I know I can walk in there and fight anybody on any given day. And I'm not afraid of anyone. And I know that.
Yeah.
I know what my skills are. So I believe I could do that. I put a little bit too much on my plate in that one. But I felt like when you go back and watch the fight, and most people I've talked to say I won that fight. So I get that loss. And then they run me right back against Cody. That's the fight I really wanted. Cody Durden.
Yeah.
Cody out wrestles me, gets to those positions and wins the competition. Doesn't win the fight in my opinion, but he wins the competition. He did a great job. He won that fight. Good job, brother. You know, in a small cage and 3-round fight, and the way that things went down, he won the fight. But I know my skills, like I said, 5-round fight. Bigger cage,
it would have been different.
Bigger cage, moving around. It's just a different fight.
You're an athletic fighter, and you're one of the few people I know who weaponize that kind of cardio of yours.
I was just about to say the same thing. Like I think, you come stronger on when the fight gets later in the round. You come on strong. So like you said it there in one. I think if certain fights were 5 rounds, I think you take them. So,
I mean, in certain fights, I have a full camp. I win. You know,
100%. I agree.
I didn't. Most of my fights in the UFC, I didn't. When I fought TKO on Jimmy Flick, I took that on 3.5 weeks notice. And then I ran that right back and tried to fight Ode on 9 days notice. And you know, I fought Cody on the camp and I lost to him. And I fought Esteban on the camp and I lost to him. Both of those fights were very similar. I just got beat to positions. The Esteban fight in particular, in the second round, if I don't allow myself to get thrown, like I have double unders and he throws me to my back twice, if I don't allow him to get those judo throws and I do what I did in the third round, I destroy him. Because the third round, from 4 minutes and 56 seconds until the end of the round, I'm throwing punches and he's backing up the entire round. It could have been a 10-8 round. But if I don't get a knockdown, so they score a 10-9, I don't understand how. He didn't do anything the whole round, but take shots to the floor.
Yeah.
That could have been a draw, you know, but I lose that fight. I walk out of the cage. I'm like, I might be out of the UFC. I was so down and sad. And because I put a lot into that. You know, I was away. I had took like 5-6 months because I had my baby girl. So I was in Norway. So I was preparing for whoever that whole time and just felt great. So when I fought Esteban, I had a full tank and I was ready to go. He just, the first 2 rounds, was able to hold me and get to those positions and do nothing. Right. And in the third round, I beat the shit out of him and I lost the fight. You know? Like literally, that's what happened. And and it's frustrating, you know, because I'm like, these guys aren't fighting me. These guys aren't fighting me. So when after that fight, after the Esteban fight, that night, I didn't know if the UFC was going to cut me or not. But I talked to my manager. He told me, don't worry. I'm on the phone with Mick. Just get some rest, enjoy your family. The next day, I was able to talk to my manager, and he said, Mick's going to let you fight out your contract because of that third round. He sees potential in you, and he's going to let you fight out your contract. We got to win the next one, whoever it is. We have to win.
Yeah. Wow.
The UFC doesn't usually keep people out for 3 losses, but they see the potential. You're exciting. You have all this potential. You're a former champion. They believe you can win in this organization. You just have to win. And then
you get paired up with an undefeated fighter.
You have to win these fights, right?
Right.
So knowing that, I was like, all right. But then it was mission.
Yeah.
From that moment on, it was like I walked out of Esteban fight with no injuries or nothing. I felt like I won the fight, but I had lost, right? And so I walked out of that fight and I just got in the gym the next week immediately. And I was like, whoever they fucking call me with, I'm just going to be ready.
Yeah.
Ready. And I was just drilling consistently, scheduling out, recovering, make sure I do everything as best I can. I'm finally making a little bit of money where I can take care of myself correctly outside of the fight. And so when they sent me the Maxum fight, he was supposed to fight February 3rd. They said, hey, this dude fight fell out January 15th. I was like, And then I looked on Tap. I was like, he's scheduled to fight February 3rd. Why they want it January 15th? I was like, well, first I said, yeah, fuck yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, I like that fight. My manager sent me a message. Oh, let me look at him. I looked at him.
Undefeated.
Looked at his last fight. Looked at his last fight against Tyson Nam. Looked at his previous fights.
Yeah.
One of his previous fight, and I was like, same guy, not much different. Yeah, I like that fight. He's gonna bring the fight to me. Let's fucking go. He's gonna fight me. Yeah. That's all I need. That's all I need.
Yeah,
Brian. Yeah, I need somebody to fight me. It was like, all right, you sure? He was like, you don't have to take. Usually, it isn't saying you have to take it, but you told me whenever something opens up to message you. So. And I was like, yeah, let's fucking go. Right.
I love
so
that.
this was December, like the second week in December. And they were asking for January 15th. I said, if you make it February 3rd, I'm beating the shit out of him. I'll fight him January 15th. I'll fight him January 15th. But if you make it February 3rd, I'm going to get him out of there. I really think I can finish him.
And the fact that he's undefeated, that didn't play on your mind at all? That didn't sort of...
No, that shit never means anything. I beat undefeated guys. I fought many times. I trained with Peter Yan in fucking Thailand, sparring all the time when I was during COVID. Like, I've seen world champions up close and personal. And records mean nothing to me, especially coming from those countries where they fight guys who they know each other, and sometimes they walk in that cage, they already kind of like having in their mind they're gonna win that fight, and the other dude having in their mind they're gonna lose the fight, so they go in there and do what they want to. Like, some of these promotions, these guys haven't fought anyone, you know. So you look at his record. You look at his record. He didn't fight Cans, but he didn't fight guys who fought anybody. And the guys who did have good records, they hadn't fought anybody. But you look at my record. You know, I'm fighting guys. When I was 3-0, I'm fighting another 3-0 guy. When I'm 6-0, I'm fighting another 6-0 guy. When I'm, you know what I'm saying? So I'm fighting guys in my career who are good.
True.
You know,
and
regionally.
We watched that fight quite closely. I think Ash did pick something up as well in the third round of that fight. It was we were saying about the choke that you got. Could you watch it back? Did you watch that fight back? The Maskin fight?
Yeah, I watched it a couple times. Yeah, 2-3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the ninja choke, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of had him here, and it's actually a choke that my teammate Zach Freeman got on what's his name? Pico. Pico. His first fight in Bellator, when Pico fought in Bellator.
Yeah.
He fought my teammate Zach Freeman, who was at the time brown belt in jiu-jitsu, really fucking good. And I was like, if Zach grabs this dude, it's over. So Zach, they hit each other at the same time with an uppercut. Boom. And Zach jumped and he just went here and put him out. And so every time I get in that position, I think about that. And it's something I drew with Zach like way years ago. So I get there and I just know that I can control the position, control them a little bit. If they sink into it, I can tell. But he was getting ready to drop for a double. I didn't have his neck all the way. So when I felt him getting ready to drop and try to put me against the cage, I turned him out and then I started striking.
Because
I used the commentators, him getting ready.
The commentators, and a lot of us watch it. We're like, "Oh, you nearly had him out. You nearly had him. I thought his legs were buckling." But obviously, you felt something different.
When you're in there, you can feel it. Yeah. You can feel it when you're. You know when you have it. You know, and I didn't have it, but I felt him dropping and try to drive me into the cage and like use a cage to get ready for a takedown because he likes that position for his takedowns. So I was just aware of that. If I want to go all in and jump to my back, I've seen myself lose with that with Ode. So I wasn't going to do that. Yeah. So I'm like, if anything, I'm not jumping to my back here. I'm going to use this shit to punch the shit out of him. So like turn it around. Yeah. And I just struck off of it, you know.
Understood. Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's basically how we got to the from the Esteban fight to the Maxim fight. As soon as I seen it, I was like, I just need somebody that's going to fight me, you know? So that 3-fight losing streak, even though it was 3 losses, I never really felt like I lost fights. Third fight, I felt like I lost because he was winning every position. I had moments, but he was just focused on getting to my back and holding positions. And he was happy with that.
And look, you're an exciting fighter. Wrestling. You are an exciting fighter. You're an athletic fighter. You kind of weaponize cardio, and you kind of give the fans what they want as well. So definitely, I guess one of the things that we want to see more of is you kind of standing up and you kind of really mixing things up also with your opponents.
Yeah, guys asked me about this fight with Hadley, and I was like, he's gonna come to wrestle.
Yeah, I was about to say
he's gonna come to wrestle. Like once it's time to go, he's gonna wrestle. He's gonna say everybody say he's gonna like drop me, knock me out. Okay. When it gets down to a fight, I know he's gonna wrestle. And so I prepare for that, you know? That's what I prepare for because I know these guys only options. Like maybe 2 guys who can strike with me in the weight class. 2, 3.
You kind of got
maybe.
those hands as well, which kind of turns strikers into wrestlers. You know,
Yeah.
when you touch them with your hands, they just start wrestling because they don't want it no more.
And I have the option too, where like when I'm not that good at, like if I'm not finding it and the range is a little iffy and they're blitzy and it's too much, like we don't know who's winning this fight right now. I have the option to wrestle. I just don't use it because I like fighting people. You know, like I'm in Ultimate Fighting Championship, not Ultimate Wrestling Champion, Ultimate Wrestling Championship, not Ultimate hold your dick all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're here to fucking fight, put punishment on people, fight each other, see who has the best skills, not hold positions, and like win a position and okay, I won a competition fight. You know, like I want to fight you. Like
Love
let's
that mindset.
fight. Let's make this. And I understand jiu-jitsu and wrestling as a part of that.
Yeah.
I think it's times when you have to implement those things, you know, not saying that I won't ever just fucking do that. But when I wrestle people and I grapple people in a fight, I try
Look
to
for the finish.
hurt them. I try to hurt them and finish them.
Yeah.
Like I'm wrestling to a position of control where I can either hit you or I can get you out of there. I'm not wrestling to
let him pray.
2 minutes went by. Okay, cool. I can hold this position. I'm not looking to get, but these guys, it's consistent. These guys study the film, study who's beat me, and see, okay, they get to this position and we can hold this position and kill the clock here and we can win the round.
Yeah.
And that's what they try to do.
No, I get that. And I think that's what's so exciting about you. That's why you're such a exciting fighter for the fans, to be fair, because we kind of recognize your urgency to really kind of get things going.
No, exactly.
You're athletic. You got the cardio for that. You don't have to be watching the clock and wearing down rounds. You're good to go.
I hate to harp on this. I want to say this one more thing about the Ode fight.
All right, one last thing.
When you listen to the Ode fight, if you ever go back and watch it, you don't have a reason to. It's over there, right? Yeah. But if you ever go back and you listen to the commentators and you listen to what they say, Ode has thrown more kicks in this fight than all of his other fights combined. Ode was kicking and running the whole fucking round until I realized that I'm like, he's not trying to fight me.
Yeah.
Right. And then that's when I did a jumping slap and did the hand and took him down and like really like pressed it to that. I thought going into that fight, like Ode's a really nice dude, but in his fights, he usually takes the fight to people. He usually tries to come and throw hands with them. He was playing this real like runaway game with me. And that was like, are we here to fight?
Yeah,
brother?
It gets frustrating.
Fight interview, he said he was trying to break my leg, kick my legs off, but he walked out the cage limping and hurt. And I hop, skip, jumped out of the cage, upset. I lost the bullshit decision, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'm built different, brother. I really am. And I'm not like harping on myself. I know
it's
this
good mindset to have, man.
I know this about myself, and I'm just anxious to get through these 3-round fights because I know that I can give the fans something special in 5-round fights.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like the UFC hasn't recognized that about me. When I came into this organization, I'm different than anybody else.
Yeah.
I know that, but everybody feels that way. But if you look at my film and you watch, I am different, brother, and I can max people's lungs. I can put on 5-round fights. Everything's fucking exciting. I'm not out there to be boring. I've never had a boring fight, even when I have boring competitors in there with me.
Yeah. And actually, about those future fights coming up, because, last week you did call out number 11 ranked Matt Schnell for a fight in June 29th. That'll be a big card to go on to. So since then, have you kind of reached out to Matt or his team? Do you think that it's a matchup the UFC would be interested in as well?
Yeah, Matt's a Midwest boy. All love to him. He messaged me back. He said he won't be ready to go until the fall, so that fight's not going to happen. But I did see another name out there that might be free, Alessandro Costa. I think that'll be a great fight for the fans. Yeah. I would love going there. I love to get in there, and I really think I'll put him out.
I
don't see him touching me. I see him it being a great fight, a back and forth fight. But once I get mixing up and get in my flow, it's over. So that's a fight I really like for myself. And the thing is, these guys aren't really, really good wrestlers. They're not going to beat me. Only the best wrestlers in this weight class have a chance, which is the Albazi, the Makayev. I've already fought them.
Yeah.
Cody Durden, the Makayev, and the Pantoja Jiu-Jitsu. Like those 4 are the only ones who can add that layer of stall time, to add that layer of kill clock time, to add the layer of mixing it up where they make me think a little bit more. If you can't make me worry about your wrestling or your jiu-jitsu, it's going to be a long, long, long day
for them.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Costa fight is, again, they say styles makes fights, and I think the Costa, I don't think he's going to be one to, like you said, to take down the fight and try and stall. I think he will bring the fight to you, and obviously styles, like I said, styles makes fights, and I think it'll be a good fight. I don't think he will use his wrestling in that fight, to be honest.
Yeah. And what about Joshua?
I would go in there with every intention to put him out. I'm not coming here to play.
You must be pretty annoyed with judges' decisions by now.
I was looking at my record like, fuck, I'm the decision king right now.
Yeah.
A loss or win,
but also
like,
decisions that you can't justify.
When the fans are watching, they get it too. Like you watch my opponents, they're not here trying to fight me, and that's the frustration. Charles is here to fight a lot of every fight. And when I'm there, and I'm not trying to take anything from any of these guys. We're all in the Ultimate Fighting Championship for a reason. These are the best guys in the world. They are great at what they do, and they have to do what they do to be successful. And it's on me to stop that, right? All I'm saying is...
You can't leave it to the decision of the judges anymore, because...
I'm ready. I'm really working on getting these guys out. I almost did it with Jake. Jake's a very durable guy. We've never seen him get dropped. We've never seen that happen to him in his fights. So... obviously, it's something there for me, and I see that. So it's just continue to do what I'm doing.
I see fight ending sequences coming imminently. I'm telling you, man. I'm seeing it. Because I think you're getting closer. Because even in that Maxim fight, that guy, I kind of feel like it was kind of close. You could have had a fight ending.
If I had 10 seconds left in that fight, he quit.
Yeah.
So like
100%.
If it was 10 seconds left in the round, the ref stops that. Like if you watch the very end of that round, he's like. He's not trying to get to a position in his guard. No. He's literally laying there like
he's nearly out.
Exhausted here, and physically he's exhausted from the pace that I put on him. And now I'm like punching the shit out of you from before as the round ends, and he gets up and he's like, he's got the poker face, but he knew that fight was over. If it's 10 left, I ground and pound.
Saved by the bell.
Like, it ends just like this Jimmy Flick fight, right?
Yeah.
So
literally saved by the bell, that guy. And yeah, look, I'm seeing it coming. You're getting closer and closer to those fight ending sequences and those finishes, and I reckon we might see it real soon. In fact, I wanted to mention.
I'm upset I didn't have a viral moment when I knocked down Jake. I should have like danced or something and made him stand up and like continue, because I fell in his guard, and then like he just killed the clock with 40 seconds. I let him get on my legs and like fuck. That's why I started laughing at the end of that round, because then it was just like I was like, I told you just gonna come to wrestle. It's time to bang. I was like, I love it. Fucks with Jake, man. I like his style. I like how he fights. So man, it was a fun.
Absolutely.
Love that.
And I'm quite keen on looking at opportunities that can get like a number next to your name, because I think you've been in the UFC for a bit now. You've had like 8 fights in the octagon as well, and you haven't fought like a ranked opponent yet. And you got someone like Steve Ersteg, who's 4 fights and he's had the title shot. So I don't want to sort of boil up any frustrations too soon, but there's got to be some kind of frustration in that, I imagine.
Yeah, I just think that. He got gifted by God the perfect timing,
Yeah.
I can't be mad at the man. He did what he needed to do.
Opportunities.
But as a person who had to deal with adversity in life and in his fighting career, you see guys get opportunities that you wish you had.
Yeah.
And then you have to also be honest with yourself and say every fight is an opportunity, and have you taken advantage of them?
Yeah.
So
it's a good way to look at it, man.
I do both of those, and so for me, I try to keep myself level with it, keep my fire, a lot of fire in me, a lot of anger, not like anger, like I'm not an angry person, just like when it comes to fighting, I just got these dreams and aspirations.
The fire comes alight.
I'm ready to fucking let's get it. That's why I'm fighting all this. I'm like, I want to fight it. Let's go. Like stop playing with me. Like UFC, let's go. Like,
would you
like come on, Put me in these fucking stadiums. See what happens.
Would you do it differently?
Hear the crowd, brother. Like me, I had the biggest pop in there before the co-main event. I had the biggest pop in that stadium. In between the second and third round, after I knocked him down, and I'm like this, and Jake starts doing that too. Like that loud was the second fight. The whole crowd was.
Yeah,
I'm like,
love that.
I've been in stadiums. I'm like, hey, this is main event energy right here, bro. Like this is main event vibes, you know. Like this is like people is tuned in, you know. And I was like,
palpable.
Let's go. Yep. Like, and me and him, we kind of smirked and smiled at each other like after that moment because it's like, damn, you know, like we both felt it. Like we were in a fucking fight. Let's go.
I love
you know?
that, man.
So it was.
Great moment.
And the fans feed off that.
That's what I view.
You know, we go crazy for it.
That's what I view the UFC as, not being in the fucking apex. I view the UFC as being in the arena, fighting in front of all these fans. And,
like a gladiator.
Testing myself against the best guys in the world, not in somebody's fucking garage, you know? Like get in these arenas and like I'm the fucking people's champ, bro. Like people, I give everybody love. I do things for everybody, you know, like people reach out to me. I respond to people as best as I can.
Yeah.
Put out positive, you know, I'm like I know that like I'm going to be received really well, you know, and I'm international, bro. I got Sweden family. I got Thailand family. I got UK family.
Well, you got UK family now.
Like, but really though, I do, and I really do. And so it's like, take advantage of this person you guys have as a business too, because I'm doing everything outside of fighting as well, you know, to maximize, you know, everything. And I'm here for it, and I'm working my ass off. So let's go, UFC.
Hey,
I'm here for it. Oh, let's go.
Love it.
Love that.
No, it's true, and I'm excited to see you get amped up. Like I said, the fans feed off that kind of excitement. In fact, I'm feeding off that excitement now, seeing you kind of getting ready to go. That's the kind of fighting we want to see inside the octagon. But even less, you know, seeing that's what you're like outside the octagon too. That's why we do these things, these fighter Q&As. We get to know what the fighter looks like when the gloves come off, when they're outside the cage. You know, are they still that same animal that we know and love? For you, Johnson, it's true. But let's look.
And it's like it's very. We have this amount of a window to really enjoy this. You know, I'm keeping that joy on my heart when I'm training, and so like, but what am I doing this for? These weight cuts and all the fight in front of the fans, and really test myself in the ultimate chess match, ultimate Hunger Games. I got a ref in there that's going to save me. You know, nobody's going to die. We got the ref in there, but anything can happen. And as we see in boxing, anything can happen. You know, it's a dangerous sport at the end of the day. And we forget that because we're so used to doing it every day, training. But it is literally the best fucking sport in the world, brother. Man, it is.
Yeah, you said it. You said it.
Speaking about fans, we have a few of them waiting to get some questions in as well, don't we?
That is true, yeah.
Do you want to walk us through what that looks like, Ash? Get some fan questions here for Charles Johnson, live on air. Let's see what he's got.
First one for let me click on it. Does it come up on your end, sir? Let me know.
Yep, it's showing.
Oh, it has, yeah?
Yes.
Right, so it says, Charles, how do you feel about outdoor venue in Missouri?
Nah. Don't do it, especially in the summer. It's hot as fuck and humid. Hell no. Nah. We did that one time with a boxing. They did that with boxing. It was terrible, like hot. Man, it was bad. The ring was hot as hell. Everybody was just like the boxing matches were terrible. Not because of the talent, just the weather was too much. I think that when we already deal with, so this is what you guys got to remember, fans, when we already deal with so many adversities leading up to a fight. Yep. When it comes to a fight, you want these guys to get in there, and you don't want anything outside of the fight to affect the fight more than it already has with these weight cuts and everything. So you want us in an indoor venue. You want us to be in an environment where we can put on the best. It's a show, the best show. And the best fight possible. You don't want to add anything other level. unless we're gonna go to gladiators. And let's fucking do it. I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm down. Let's go.
exactly
But as far as for the sport aspect of it, they're not gonna play the NBA finals in the heat outside. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna keep those weather increments down. They're gonna make sure it's the best show possible.
Gotcha.
Yeah, indeed. So great answer to that. Next one from Raphael, who's in the chat. Welcome in, Raph. He says,
Yes,
his question for Charles, we know you are an expert in Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. How were you able to master the arts of Jiu-Jitsu? Did you go to Brazil or something?
No, my original school, St. Charles MMA. Shout out to Rodrigo Vaghi, Hickson Gracie, and my head coach, Mike Rogers, which was the big man you seen in my corner. I trained at St. Charles MMA. It was a traditional jiu-jitsu school before they got into MMA. Our head coach, Mike Rogers, was Tyron Woodley's head wrestling coach in high school, and Tyron came to him, was like, hey, I want to fight. So Mike opened up and started doing MMA, and St. Charles MMA was hashed and born. I don't think it started with Tyron. He probably had some other guys too come through, but it was probably one of the things that really jump started it. And that's why Tyron got all the way up to like 6-0 before he moved to a different gym. But my original school, St. Charles MMA, Jiu-Jitsu in the Midwest, and like the Daisy Fresh boys and the Pedigo guy team, they're a sister gym to us. They have some of the top guys in the world right now in Jiu-Jitsu. So yeah, that's why nobody can fuck with me.
Love that. I love that. Absolutely love that. Next one from Big Fridge. Welcome in, Big Fridge. He says, Charles, how fast can you run a 40-yard dash?
The last time I ran a 40 was in high school, and I ran a 4.5. I mean, I think that's decent. I mean, I'm more of a miler, so I'm a long distance guy.
I was about to say, yeah.
In high school, I ran a 4:19 mile. So that just gives you some some perspective on what I probably could do if I chose to do it as a professional. In college, I ran like the 2 mile in the steeplechase, but in high school, I ran a 4:19 mile.
Ooh,
love that.
Not bad.
George May, welcome in, George May.
Are you clicking them up, Ash? I'm not showing. You click him up.
Oh, yeah, I clicked him up. Yeah.
Give another click.
Another click.
No,
the mic. Yeah, I've clicked on it.
Okay, no worries. Carry on.
Yeah, so George May says, how much do you think about the Roman Empire?
None at all. No, but I am a big fan of like all that warrior shit. So I like Troy, I like Genghis Khan. I like anything African as far as like tribal war and old kings and conquerors. I love watching stuff like that. Vikings, all those shows. Like I watch all that shit. So I used to be big into like the Greek gods and stuff and learn about them as a kid, reading the books about those things and, Hercules and shit, the Odyssey and stuff like that. Yeah. So not really a big, Roman, but I'm big into like Greek mythology and shit like that.
Not bad.
Nice. Oh, sorry, you've already mentioned that, but yeah, Shangovi, welcome in, Shangovi. He says, Charles, huge respect for you for taking short notice fights. I think you've already answered it, but I'll ask you anyway. He says, who would you want to fight next? I think you've said Costa.
Whoever they put me in there with that makes sense. Yeah. I think a great fight right now is Costa. Even though I don't think he gives me a number.
He's not ranked yet, is he?
I think he gives me a fight June 29th, and that's what I want. I want to get on that pay-per-view. So if that's what it is, that's what it'll be. But if it's anybody other than that, it'll have to be a number and.
Makes sense.
Or I'm not probably gonna fight.
I'll go quick on that for number.
Wait till September and get the Schnell fight. I might try to get the Schnell fight in September. We'll see.
You did previously call out this guy, Joshua Van, I think, and I can't recall. I think he's not ranked at the moment.
He's fighting soon.
He is. Yeah, he's fighting.
Our timeline will mesh eventually. Right now, he's slated to fight Sagir.
Exactly.
We'll see how that goes.
If he wins, he will be ranked.
We'll see how that goes. They're really pushing him. He fought a couple cans and got him out of there. So I'm excited about seeing what he does with Sagir, because Sagir is a really sticky fighter.
Yeah.
But Sagir be hit. And so
good test.
We've seen Van get taken out every fight by guys who aren't wrestlers. So we shall see. It's a great oil and water fight. And I wish him the best. He's a young kid, man, and when our paths cross, I hope he's a little more well rounded. It's gonna make for a great fight because right now I would do some bad things to him.
I love the respect that you showed to our fighters. Absolutely love that. Next question from Walker, Texas Ranger. Great name. It says, Charles, what was your favorite fight of the night at the St. Louis card, apart from your own?
I mean, I just feel like Buck did an excellent job. Joaquin Buck, he did an excellent job dealing with dealing with things in the past that he didn't do well with. He did a great job at making adjustments and doing the right things this fight and implementing his wrestling and just doing everything right, man. And I was very proud of him. I was very proud of him. I didn't get to watch every fight. I saw some of Sean Woodson fight. I thought that was a very close, very good, hotly contested fight. Could have went either way. And the Derek Lewis fight was fun. I saw the main event. That was fun.
Third round knockout.
Fight antics were even more fun, you know, as it should be with Derek Lewis. That's why he's a main event. He's a show. He's a show for a reason, you know. But yeah, I didn't get to see any other. A fight that I really wanted to see was the one that got fight of the night.
Oh yes.
The undefeated guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name now, but yeah,
I saw the very end of it. I was like, "Oh, he got fucked up," but I didn't get to see.
Oh, Robelis, Spain.
His eyes were like,
"Oh no,
oh, brother." No, his eyes were closed.
This fight was in the prelims. I can't remember the two guys. No, I think it was in the prelims. It might have been, but I definitely know who you're about. I just can't remember their name.
That's the fight I wanted to watch back, and I haven't watched back yet.
Yeah, no, 100%. That was a great fight.
Trey Waters.
To answer the question, though, Joaquin Buckley, because everybody thought, you know, the big guy coming down.
He was a giant, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Bucks had trouble with the big guys, but I saw the whole week. I was like, man, this dude was just trying to get to weight the whole week. He was sucked down, and I was like, he might make the weight, but he ain't gonna be able to like. Bucks comfortable. Rounds, Bucks comfortable at this weight class now. He was fighting at 185, walking around 192, you know, and fighting guys weighing 200 something, in the teens, and just fighting guys way bigger than him. So he's at the proper weight class now, and he does proper cuts, and like he's actually fighting where he should have been all along, and people can see what he can actually do.
Yeah.
So I see this guy cutting all his weight and see him slinking around when I'm there. When I see him slinking around, I'm like, he's gonna have a rough night if he get punched in the sternum. You know, it's gonna be tough. He get punched in the ribs one good time, it might be over. You know, so
but performance for me, performance of the night for me. That one, it was beautiful.
I think he deserved more than what he got, and I think he shit on himself in the post fight, but he definitely could have.
Because
he definitely could have.
Conor McGregor called out
a fight. He could have got a performance bonus. Like he did everything right in that fight.
He did. Yeah. He really did. Now he did call out Conor McGregor, didn't he? I don't see that happening. It was a bit.
I'm not mad about that. I'm more so like in the mind of people are gonna mince your words or not understand what you're saying. Right. We have this Midwest talk slang, and how we talk is just different. So when you got just talking about like your mama raised a hoe and shit like that, people gonna mix your words, not understand what you're saying. You think they call him mama hoe. It's Mother's Day weekend. Like, bro, you could have attacked this in a whole different way where you had everybody behind you, and now you're public enemy number one. Maybe he wanted that, maybe he doesn't, you know. But I just, you know, as long as he keeps winning, it won't fucking matter.
Yeah, that's true. And like I said, I think he's definitely on a bit of a tear at the moment. Like you said, at the new weight class now. Next question from George Mary. He says, who would your dream fight be from the past?
From the past, present, Demetrius Johnson, you know?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've always watched him, always wanted to fight him. And I think that'd be a very difficult fight, obviously, but I always want to see what I would do with Demetrius, man. And then another good fight. I don't know. I always want to fight Figueiredo.
Yeah.
But he's at 35 now. So.
Yeah, that's true. That one's but he's looking good at bantamweight now as well, to be fair. Yeah, next one from Shango V says, question, Charles, what's your picks for the main event and co-main event in the Manchester event? So the main event is Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad, and the co-main event is Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades.
I think it's gonna be very interesting with the Bilal fight. We've seen Leon struggle.
Yeah.
As the fight goes on, it seems like his muscle endurance isn't the best. He's very skilled and he can fight for 5 rounds, but he can't fight at a certain level for 5 rounds. And I see him towards the end to late of rounds, I always see him like lag a little bit, gets a little lethargic. If things aren't as crisp. So that's a muscle endurance thing. And sometimes you can't change that. That's how your body's made up. Whereas Bilal, I think he comes on stronger as rounds go. So I think that fight is going to be extremely close, especially if Leon doesn't land anything that hurts him. I think that fight's going to be extremely close, and I think Bilal is going to win that fight. Either he's going to get him down and finish him, or he's just going to like grind him down.
Yeah, that's the thing, because Usman did have a lot of success taking him down in that first fight, didn't he?
And that fight was one-sided until the magic moment happened.
Yeah.
And people forget that. And it's crazy that people can forget that because it was so one-sided. It was so one-sided. It was like as one-sided as a fight can be.
Yeah.
That's like Anderson Silva against Chael Sonnen. And he had a magic moment, And so we'll see, man. I think that either man can win, of course. But I kind of went it for Bilal based off of like this. Just, man, he deserves a little bit of moment, like motherfuckers, him. He's a good dude, man. And then the main event, then the other fight was who?
Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blades.
Oh, Curtis Blades and Aspinall. Aspinall is just an uber athlete if he can handle the chain wrestling, because Blades is a chain wrestler. If he can handle that, Blades is look better on the feet. It can be a lot closer than what people think on the feet. And so I give that fight to whoever can handle the wrestling better.
Yeah. No, spot on with that, I think. Next one from UFC Alien. It says, what did you spend your first UFC paycheck on?
Ooh, it's going back.
Good question.
My first UFC paycheck, I didn't get paid shit. I walked away home with $7,000, so I ain't spending on shit. I just went home and went back to work and doing everything that I was doing. Now, the first time I really got paid, I spent it on recovery things. I always try to invest back into myself. So I got myself this laptop that I'm talking to y'all on. I got me a computer so I can start working on streaming and stuff like that.
Nice.
And that was my thing to me. I always wanted a gaming laptop. I played League of Legends all the time. And so I wanted a gaming laptop. I had been on my old iMac from like 2012.
I get slow.
So I do graphic design. I like design stuff all the time. So I needed something proper. So that's what I spent. When I got a little bit of money, that's what I spent it on. And then this last check, I was finally able to get like my first like car, like my real car. I've had hoopties in growing up. I finally got myself a real car now. So that'll answer your question. My first check, I went home with like $7,000 in the UFC. As a professional athlete, you felt like shit,
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. We'll have to try and catch a game of Call of Duty or something with you one time.
Oh yeah, I ain't played Call of Duty in years. I fucking hate that. I'll play it with y'all.
Yeah. We're not gonna give it a go. This week I'm a bit free for it, but I've not played in a while either. Yeah. Last time me and Ash played, we got back-to-back wins, and that was after not playing in a long time too. So.
Yeah, we played a couple of games.
What's up?
All right, let's go.
we played a couple of games.
I play on stream though. On Steam, though.
Oh, okay, that's nice. That's nice. Cool. Yeah, we played a couple of games with Mike Davis and Vince Morales as well. So that was kind of cool. Vince Morales with a sniper is elite.
Mike's my boy. Oh, yeah. Mike's my boy.
We love Mike.
I told Mike we got to stream my first time ever playing Fortnite because I never played Fortnite. I said we gotta get on there and just have some fucking fun and laugh at me being so fucking terrible at this game.
Yeah, he's really into his gaming, isn't he, Mike? He's really into his gaming.
He's into those first person shooters, Yeah. Like, I don't really play them that much, so I'm more of like a chess Dungeons and Dragon type
strategy. Yeah. Okay. You're like that bird's eye view games, aren't you? We kind of look down, red command.
I like I like champions that have meaning, games that have meaning to them. Like in every game, you can play it all day, but every game is different.
Yeah,
so that's the game I like.
Love that. Next one, Lucas Tracy, welcome in. He says, Charles, who is personally your favorite fighter to watch in the UFC?
You got the chat for that? That didn't show.
Clicked on it.
Oh. I think I haven't enjoyed watching many people lately, but probably Max. Like I've been a fan of Max for a long time. He's never been my favorite fighter, but he's grown into be one of my favorites. Not before the viral moment. Fuck the viral moment. That's just he does that every fight. I feel like he just finally finished the fight with a knockout. But
yeah,
that's his angles, his switching off. He's the only fighter that I see myself in. And so like when he does things successfully, I try to mimic them and say, oh, I can do that. He plays video games, fight games. I like Tekken, and I grew up on fight games too. So like he learned from video games. I learned from video games and YouTube. I see myself in him a lot, you know. So it's like, yeah, man, let's fucking go. You know, like when I watch him, I see myself, and I see everything that he's successful at. I can do. Tall for the weight class, good chin, good boxing, switch hitter, long. Let's fucking go. You know, like anybody, anytime. Yeah. So Max, and then when he was on and when he was active, when he was on his way up, Conor, of course, man. I just couldn't wait to watch Conor work because it was always something new.
Yeah, no, exactly. Old school Conor McGregor, it was something.
Don't marvel at it. Really was.
Yeah. Like that's what made me fall in love with my own journey. Like made me fall in love and believe that I could be in the UFC. Because before, you know, like all this shit was new to me, brother. Like I was a track athlete, I was an all-state wrestler, and my buddy, he would show up in the our wrestling was called the Pit, right? And so he would show up in the wrestling room after our wrestling practices and be down there doing jiu-jitsu. I didn't know what it was. I was like, you doing that sport when they be kneeing each other? That motherfucker crazy. They elbow too. They elbow too. Oh, they're fucking crazy. These dudes.
Right.
He get paid how much? $500, $700. No.
You must be crazy.
I'm good. God, it's crazy, right? Okay, so then fast forward, you know, 3 years later, and I get into it, and then I understand it, and I start watching it. It was Dominic Cruz. It was a Dominic Cruz era, right? From WEC coming over. I didn't watch WC. I watched UFC, and that's when he was UFC champ, and that's when Mighty Mouse was getting beat up by 135ers before they made the flyweight weight class. You know, he could have beat the good 35ers, right? And so Mighty Mouse wasn't who I watched. It was Dominic Cruz. He was the man. You know, the footwork was different. The vibe was different. The dominator was doing that in every fight, right? So that's who I watched. And then it was Carlos Condit. I like the natural born killer. I like his striking style.
I like that.
And people forget, but those are the two guys that like when I first started fighting, they were the man, you know, like, I'm like, dang, I like him. I like his style. I like what he's doing, you know? And so those were two guys I watched. And then as I grew in the sport, you know, John Jones and then, you know, Anderson Silva, but you always want Anderson to win, you know?
Yeah.
And then Cub Swanson was one that I really liked. And then, you know, it became Conor. When Conor came in, he just became my favorite fighter, and I always watched Max too. Max was like back there, but after the fight with Conor, I really started watching him. You know, after he fought Conor, I was like, that dude's fucking good, bro. Like, then I started watching his other fights, and like, hey, like, as I grew, then I started really watching Max, you know, and then Mighty Mouse is going on a tear. So, you know, it's just. You know, it's really been a journey for me, you know, as a fan too.
What do you think about some of these legends still being about? Because Dominic Cruz is still, you know, he's still fighting. He's not hanging up his glove. He's not fully retired. Do you think that they should have done so in their prime, or do you like the fact that they're still about now?
I don't know. I think that. Hold on, let me make sure my computer's plugged up. 1 second.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. I just want to.
I had unplugged it. It's over here for them to pass out.
All right, get the charger on.
My bad.
It's cool. It's cool. And then we'll wrap up shortly after that. But I think we're down to the end of that.
No, we're good. I got all the time in the world, brother. I'm free today.
Nice. We'll jump straight on COD straight after then.
The question was, I think it was on about like the legends like Dominic Cruz. Do you on about him sticking around? Do you think he should have retired like in his prime? Like the prime example for that would be like someone like Henry Cejudo,
right?
Because obviously he retired.
No. The prime example is fucking Frankie Edgar. Okay,
oh,
but
soft point there. One of Ash's favorites, but let's go. I want to hear this.
Yeah, they know, they can feel. Robbie Lawler, great example. They can feel when it's different. Robbie had the best exit possible.
Yeah.
Frankie had the worst exit possible. Right? But it's a correlation in both. You know, they can feel it. And it's all about recognizing and knowing when to leave. Luckily, Robbie was able to leave on that highest of high.
Yeah.
They could have done more for him as the show and in the moment. It could have been more of a thing. But for him, that was all he needed, right?
Yeah,
and
special.
It was great. He got to go out on that win. And it makes you feel like, man, you want to replicate.
Yeah, you want to do it again.
One more time until you Frankie Edgar, right?
yeah. And it goes back.
And so you have to have, and this is the answer to the question that has nothing to do with those two individuals, but everything. You have to have people that really care about you and love you around you, that you respect their opinion and you listen to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to be a deer in the headlights at 40 years old fighting in bare knuckle.
Yeah.
Getting the shit beat out of you for no reason.
Bad for the health. Yeah.
So, love that.
Good point on that one.
That's what it is.
Yeah, no, I like that answer to it as well. It's for the fighter to know and feel when it's the time, but also some educated loved ones around them that aren't looking for their financial gain, but really are caring about their health to really sort of seed into that conversation as well.
Exactly that. And I think there's certain fighters that will try in themselves to try and sort of argue back with them, sort of like the teammates or them loved ones, to sort of say, no, I want to try and continue. But then that's where the respect comes in from like your teammates and stuff, to listen to them when the right time to go is.
Yeah. Any more fan questions on that? That's it.
You got to understand when you're not able to do certain things anymore.
Yeah.
Level, and is that level high enough to compete, or are you just now because people know you? They're going to give you the opportunity to go out there and try to emulate something from the past. You just gotta be honest with yourself, man. Looking in that mirror, you know, are you seeing stars? Are you seeing yourself? What are you seeing, brother?
Yeah. No, I like that. Any more fan questions there, Ash?
No, we're all good for now, mate. We're all good for now.
All right, cool. I did have a question I wanted to get under the bonnet of a little bit more, and it was kind of as we wrap up as well. You know, when I look at you, Charles, I kind of see a man chasing his dream. You mentioned about a dream a bit earlier on, and it's kind of like at all costs. I kind of see that drive that would have wanted to get there. Can you give us a bit of a peek as to what that looks like, either whether that's inside or even outside of the UFC?
What looks like
your dream, your goal. What's the big dream that you're chasing after here?
Well, I just want to put on the performance that I know I can put on. I still haven't, and I have this vision in my mind of what that is, and it's on me to make it happen. It's on me to get there. I won't be happy until I'm fighting a number one contender fight, either in the main event or on a main card, in a co-main event, getting a 5-round fight. I won't be happy until that moment happens and I'm able to really put on for myself and answer some questions to myself. I won't be happy until that happens. And then hopefully I earn title shot out of it. Hopefully I earn enough respect and enough I don't know what they want, but enough to show them that this guy, let's give him an opportunity.
Yeah, love that, man.
When that happens, I'll be semi-happy until I get a belt. And when I get a belt, I'm gonna try to be active as I can be. But once I get the belt, then I'll achieved everything that I wanted to as an athlete in the world that I ever dreamed of doing. I'll have achieved, whether it be from track to wrestling in high school to college to where I'm at now, professional athlete in the UFC. I'll have achieved everything that I set out to do when it comes to competition. And I'll be able to now use that as a springboard into impacting the communities like I want to, building a Boys and Girls Club and having apparel and being a commentator, hopefully, in the UFC. And I look at fights differently than most people I talk to.
Love that.
And I look at fighters differently than most people I talk to. And I really love the sport, man. I really love what I do. And I'm just excited, man. The future is big, regardless of what I'm doing. And I figured out how to keep the joy and everything. And winning makes that easier. But also, I've lost at the lowest point 3 times in a row. Never happened in my life. Learning how to deal with that, learning how to manage that, and dig yourself and put yourself in a position where I am now. I'm excited.
Yeah,
me too, bro.
No, I love that. Absolutely love that, and like I love your mindset as well. Spot on. Go on.
Also, this one here is like the mini version of me.
Oh yeah, hey,
yeah, she's all the hype. She's all the hype. So.
Oh, bless her. Hey. Hi, welcome on to ATF. We had no, I knew it was going to have.
Well, if it's show and tell, I'll go and grab some of my children.
Y'all see what she got in her hand. She got it in her hand. Run around with my shirt.
What you got there? Hey. Let's have a look.
Stop G.
The energy. Tell me her first words were energy. Come on.
Go, mama. Thank you, mama.
Oh, bless. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that keeps the joy up. You know,
it's the next generation.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, people tell you, like, you know, having a kid is expensive. They don't tell you how much joy it brings in your life, how much motivation it gives you, how much direction it makes you focus. Even if you think you're focused, I've always been a focused individual. Even if you think you're focused, it gives you that, like, when you wake up in the morning, like, all right, I got to do this, and this, but then you see that and you're just like, yeah, let's go, you know? So that right there has been, this last year, it's been, I have the best wife in the world, but like, it's been a journey and it's been fun, man. It's been fun.
Try having 4 of them.
I got 4.
At first, I told my wife we were going to have a basketball team. Now I think I'll be happy if we're blessed to have a healthy boy.
Yes.
I think I'll be happy. If we have another girl, then I might have to try again until we get there. But if we get blessed with a boy and a healthy boy, I think that I'm gonna be happy, man.
That's it.
And in the world, brother.
Yeah. Love that. But yeah, just for the words that you said there before you showed your wonderful daughter there, that your mindset, like, is insane to do with the things that you were just saying. And like size, before we wrap it up, we really do wish you all the best, and we hope you do achieve them dreams. And we're right behind you, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Fights ain't gonna be easy.
Yeah,
you gotta make it happen.
Yeah,
and I appreciate the support, man, the love. Y'all could do me a favor.
Of course.
Yeah. My apparel company.
Go for it.
Tell us about it. You got the floor.
These shirts out with Dokugami, but we make these Octagon Selects. We got this tee. We're doing an event tee. So the next event tee is going to be the Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler tee. That motherfucker is fire. So it's going to be out soon. It's got the Octagon Selects. So we got jerseys. We got some dope jerseys that's going to be coming out. We're going to be doing like bundle boxes with jersey, maybe possible MMA shorts. I'm still figuring that part out if I want to do all that, but I think I will, man. I like doing the most. So it's gonna be quality, and it's gonna be some nice stuff for athletes by an athlete. So I know it's gonna feel good. I already started like getting samples and everything, and make sure everything's critique white write custom labels, custom patches, and just custom designs too, and artwork from great artists. So we're gonna hit the head all angles and be excited about it. So y'all make sure y'all
cool,
check that out.
That's cool. And one thing you did say there, which is absolutely true, you do love doing the most. You doing the most, man. You're out there, an absolute athlete in mentality and output as well. And it's just incredible to see you do and go to work, man. Honestly, every single time you're in the octagon, we're watching on in the high hopes because it's a bar burner. That's just inevitably coming, and the atmospheres you bring when you're in those live events, it's palpable. We feel it. Let's get more of it. You're absolutely right. I push for that for sure, man. So exciting.
Hell yeah.
And thanks for the plug as well. Your apparel looks pretty slick. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you,
that
brother.
looks pretty slick.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. All right, guys. Well, that's all we've got time for. That's all of the questions. Thanks for you guys in the chats who was giving us those questions. Brilliant as well from your part to provide and bring one in. We are doing these things every now and often. So if you haven't yet subscribed and liked, do that now. It basically means that you'll be able to see when we next have a fighter Q&A coming up, and you could be in the chair speaking to the man in the hot seat. Today it's Charles Johnson, everyone. If you can put some emojis in the chats, some fire there, we'll have some more content coming out this week off the back end of this very clip. Our website is atfmma.com, where you can find more content and articles based on this conversation and more. And if you want to check us out throughout the week, our socials are also plugged in description below, right next to and along with Charles Johnson's.
Yes.
Indeed. But guys, that's all for now. Thanks so much. Good night. Stay safe. And we'll see you next time here at Against the Fence. Charles, as you stick around, we'll catch you after the credits. But love, peace, chicken grease.